will of the merchant. Once there lived a merchant in Egypt. The merchant was very wealthy. He had only one son whom he loved dearly. The son was a bright young man who liked to read good books and learn new things. At the age of 20, he was sent to Greece to study. While he was away, the merchant fell ill. The merchant knew that his end was near. He did not want to disturb his son in his studies. Moreover, he had very little time, and in any case, he would not be able to see his son. He was worried about his property and wealth. There was no one in the house except his servant. He was in a dilemma whether his servant would honestly look after his property for his son or not. But there was no other way. He thought for a while and then decided to make a will. In his will, he gave all his property to his servant and did not leave anything for his son. He included a clause at the bottom of the will which said,
"My son can take one thing from my property."
Whoever heard of the will was amazed. After a few days, the merchant passed away. The servant was now the owner of his master's property. He took great care of it. After a few days, Abdul, the merchant's son, came to know of his father's death. With a sad heart, he came back home. He was further shocked to see his father's will in which he had given all the property to the servant. Abdul knew very well how much his father loved him and was puzzled at his decision. He was sure that there must be some reason behind such a strange decision. He went to Bashir, a wise man and his father's friend. He showed the will to Bashir and said,
"My father loved me very much. I was very close to him. Then why did he leave everything to the servant?"
Bashir listened to him patiently and nodded. Abdul expressed his grief and said that now he would have to work for his father's servant. Bashir took the will from his hands, had a close look at it, and read it carefully.
"Your father loved you dearly. He had thought wisely before making his will. Read the last line and you will come to know that he wanted you to be his heir."
Bashir said. Abdul replied,
"I've read the will. The last line says that I can take one thing from my father's property."
"As per the law of the land,"
said Bashir,
"the master has full right over the property of the servant. As your share of his property, you can ask for the servant. You shall then inherit all your father's property."
Abdul was overwhelmed at his father's wisdom and heaved a sigh of relief.
Now I know why my father made this will. He gave all his property to the servant so that he could not waste the money and look after it well. My father, I'm sure, wanted me to inherit his property.
"Of course he did,"
replied Bashir smilingly.